hard.
We are now live on our behind the scenes, and still weirdly talking about 50 Shades of Grey. This is episode 174, How to Become a Better Writer. We're talking about how to become a better writer. And one of the pieces of advice in the show notes, if you go out to writeonsc.blog and see the show notes, you'll see that one of the pieces of advice here is about tightening your writing with by reducing prepositional phrases and eliminating filler words. But the letter C was don't pad weak verbs with adjectives. And earlier in the show, the example I gave was describing somebody walking down a hallway. And if you say he walked quickly, okay, you've padded the verb walk with quickly to demonstrate that he's in a hurry, right?
Yeah, but there could be one word.
But you could have used a different.
He dashed.
He dashed down the hallway, right? He raced down the hallway in a way that you're going to indicate that that's how this person is moving without having to pad the verb. To walk. So let's hit these others really quickly. Number 6 is make your writing more conversational by sticking to simple words, not using jargon or academic text, and using contractions. So when you write, do you use contractions in the narrative?
Yeah, they keep telling me not to. I don't see the big deal.
In academic work, they always say no contractions. Well, there's like a formalized writing
academic
style.
Work is one thing. When you're writing fiction, especially are you writing first person? Yeah. Then there's no problem with that.
Because people think in contractions, right? If you're inside the narrator's head, they think in contractions. So yeah, I think absolutely it's worth it if you're using a first person narrator.
Right.
I'm not convinced on the narrative side that you would use contractions in a third person narrative, but I could be talked into it.
You know what? I've run across it. I don't see the big deal.
Yeah, it's probably neither here nor there. It's whatever the tone of the story is meant to be.
And, it's when I've noticed this because I was specifically looking for it.
Right.
When I'm just reading to get the plot in, it just
goes right past.
Yeah, it doesn't disrupt my flow.
And I think it's also only if I see them, if every sentence has a contraction or if it feels like there, if it sticks out to me, then okay, yeah, I'm going to pay attention to that. But all right, and then let's do this one last one because I think this kind of goes along with it. Throw out the grammar rule book within reason, and I think this is about appropriate use of fragments. I think when you're writing a story, you can use fragments very effectively to tell a good story, and that's like the one grammar rule that I'm like fully willing to totally ignore in like all of my writing is fragments.
Oh. I know, but geez, every time I tried that, the stuff doesn't get published.
The fragments? People don't like fragments? Or the grammar rule book in general?
Well, no. Every time I try to do something different, I mean, my last book, I said it's too many sentence fragments.
Really?
Yeah. I try every time I try to be creative like that, it does not get published.
Huh.
I like very minor doses.
But do you write? You don't write first person though. You write first person.
I write third person. Yeah.
So I could see where like maybe the question is, what's the purpose of the fragment? But how many? Too many fragments, really.
Oh yeah. Well, it's in the action scenes.
Too many.
Wow.
Oh, in the action scenes, maybe. But this becomes about cadence and pace. So Betty and I were.
Also become some places are just anal about that.
Some editors are just
anal about that.
Yeah.
This is this is like someone just out of school.
Yeah, maybe. Last week, Betty Williams, who's in my romance group, was reviewing my vampire love scene, and she talked a lot about cadence and having it when you read it out loud, you can hear the cadence, you can hear the flow that almost like it's a song. And I thought, isn't that interesting? Because I don't know, like to me it seems instinctive when you read it out loud. How does that feel? But like I don't necessarily know how to create that cadence. I just know it's kind of there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if we've ever done an episode where we talked all about like the sound of the words, right? And she talked about like having the same hard consonants in certain places and short words lined up in a way that creates a particular kind of staccato.
Good
And I
God.
thought, I know, right? I was
I mean,
like,
how
this
long
is
is that gonna take?
intense.
How long is it gonna take to write a book with they looking at that?
It was intense. The conversation was intense. But then she gave me my pages back in the same way that you give them back, which is like redlined all to hell. So I was
Right.
like, I opened up what she sent me back and I was like, close. I can't even take that on right now. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. We got one live viewer today. We appreciate it. This has been Right on SC, and we do this behind the scenes for our patrons. Become a patron of the show. Go out to patreon.com/right on SC. Listen live every Saturday morning on 100.7 The Point. We will see y'all next week.